Okay, we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. Please join me in reciting the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Ron Miller.
Present.
Chris Armstrong.
Here.
Mayor Ted Franklin.
Here. Approval of minutes from the May 24th meeting.
I would make a motion we approve the May 24th minutes.
I would second. Is there any discussion? All in favor of approving the minutes as presented, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Passes on a vote of 3-0. For the record, Clerk Treasurer Carol Sue Hayworth is at a Clerk Treasurer's Conference sponsored by IACT, and it's to enlighten her on proper procedures for developing a budget. Approval of claims.
I'd make a motion we approve the claims as presented totaling $167,539.77.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? Okay. All in favor of approving the claims as presented, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Claims are passed on a vote of 3-0. Approval of licenses. There are none for consideration this week. Are there any changes to the agenda? There may be. No, I think Chris is here for the trail. Okay. There are no changes to the agenda. There's no old business. Under new business, there's a request by the Mid-Florida Jazz and Blues Festival for a street closure request. That would be, the request is for June 8th, 2012 from 4 p.m. through June 9th, ending at midnight. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. There's a map inside. Is there any questions regarding that?
I'd make a motion we approve the request.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and properly seconded to approve the request from the Mid-Florida Jazz and Blues Festival Committee. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? That motion is approved on a vote of 3-0. The Cass County Softball Association requests to hold an all-night softball tournament at Riverside Park. Jan, could you come forward, please? Thanks for being.
Parks Administrator.
Thanks for being here. We received this request, I think it was on Tuesday. I'm not exactly sure. Anyway, we're happy to see them using the park. I just wanted to ask you, and I would assume that most of the complaints would go to you. Are there any complaints? Have there been any complaints associated with this in the past?
We've never received any.
Okay.
They're very careful about not using microphones after 10. Obviously, they still have their lights going, but they're not that loud. And I think part of their deal is they have an off-duty police officer on hand during the night.
I see.
I think that's part of their deal. So I think that was one of the things the park board asked them to do. And
Yeah.
The park board has approved it. So.
Yeah, my only concern was probably would first be on noise, and not necessarily noise centered around the PA system, but the noise that emits when a softball bat or an aluminum bat hits a softball, and usually that pinging sound. And that was my question, if we had any complaints with that.
The good thing is that whole area has trees surrounding it, and they really do help block that sound. So. Okay. Well,
I would ask you to track any complaints that you do have in case this comes up again next year. I think this has happened in the past, and it appears as if the Board of Works has approved it in the past. But that was a concern of mine, and I just want to make sure that
I understand that concern, because it's potentially could be something bad. But they've really done a really good job of keeping it low key and not making a big deal.
And also my concern was going to be with the potential violation of the noise ordinance, which is also there. So I don't have any objections, but I did want to at least ask you to track that and let
I
us
will.
know if there are any complaints that come in.
I will.
And
I'll
how
do-
many teams play in this?
I think they have 12 teams in their actual league, and they invite teams from outside of the area to come and play. So, it could be potentially, because it's actually a 24-hour thing. It's not just the nighttime. So it might start. I'm not sure about the exact times that they're starting, but they'll run all day the following day then too. So they might have 24 teams then. So.
They start at 5 a.m. on Saturday, and the last game is scheduled for 8 p.m. on Sunday.
On Sunday, okay, so
Yeah.
it's the full weekend.
Yeah,
Okay, all right.
it's a lot of games.
5 a.m. really?
5 a.m.
Okay.
Yeah, and like I say, it goes for 40 hours or so.
Okay.
So that was my concern.
I knew it was a long time.
All right, is there any more discussion?
I'd make a motion that we approve the Cass County Softball Association's request for
Second.
Riverside Park.
Okay, it's been moved and properly seconded to approve the request by the Cass County Softball Association, the Cass County Softball League Association, to conduct a weekend tournament that's going to continue on through the night. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Passes on a vote of 3-0. Next, we have a request from the Eel River Run Trail, and Chris Gallmer is here for that.
Thank you.
Hi.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
As you all know, Eel River Run is under construction right now, and at the corner of 7th and Ray Street, there's a utility pole that's right in front of the handicap ramp. And so we're just requesting that we can move that to the location shown on the box on the other side of the other handicap ramp crossing 7th Street.
Which pole is it? I mean, is it owned by
Comcast
Verizon and
pole.
Comcast? And Comcast has agreed to pay for the cost? Is there any discussion?
I'd make a motion that we approve it.
There's going to be no cost to the city?
Not that I'm aware of. I wasn't told of any. I would have thought Aaron could have told me that. It'll come out of Aaron's paycheck.
Good. I appreciate your motion. I would like to amend your motion to say that we approve this with the understanding that there's going to be no cost passed on to the city.
I can try to find that out before the end of the meeting. Today.
Yeah, and that's fine.
Yeah.
I think we can make that motion. We can accept the motion
Okay.
with the understanding that there's no cost passed on to the city.
Okay.
I'd accept your amendment.
Okay.
Second.
So it's been moved and properly seconded with an amendment to allow movable of the pole, the removal of one pole and installation of another pole at the corner, the northwest corner of 7th and Ray Street. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? The request is approved on a vote of 3-0. Thanks, Chris. All right. Reports. Acting Building Commissioner Deb O'Connor. Hi, Deb.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
My report's kind of brief. I had 4 inspections, and I did 14 residential building permits this week. Have any questions?
I make a motion that we approve.
No.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any further questions? Any more discussion? All right, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? It passes on a vote of 3-0. Thanks, Deb.
Thank you.
All right, Code Enforcement Officer.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning.
You each should have a copy of my report in front of you. Basically, it was a slow week for this, but busy week in other areas for me. I only issued 1 violation, a tag, 3 vehicles. City cleared 15 yards that we mowed for the first time with a $50 fine. We sent out 12 notices to property owners, and on the list, 22 previous properties were cleared by the owners, which means they were mowed or trash cleared up.
Do you have a grand total, the number of yards mowed yet?
It's approaching 100.
Okay.
I couldn't tell you. The last count I did was 93, I think, that the city has mowed.
Okay. Any questions for code enforcement officer? I make a motion we approve the code enforcement officer's report.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Thank you.
Thank you. Superintendent of Public Works, Mr. Williams.
Good morning.
Good morning, Dan.
Have in front of you, hopefully, our report for the Mount Hope Cemetery and the Logansport Street Department. This time, if you'd like to thumb through, I can answer any questions and hopefully get your approval on them.
Just my comment, I thought the cemetery looked really nice. Did you have some overtime this week?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
We did. We had a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. It all went the right way at the right time.
I have to echo Ron's sentiments. The cemetery really looked good. I had so many compliments on it, not only throughout the week, but especially on Memorial Day for the Memorial Day service that we conducted there. And you should be proud of the men. I know I am. They did a fantastic job, and I couldn't be happier with the way it turned out, with the exception of a little bit brown.
Yeah.
Need some rain, but it really looked good.
We missed time, but I think we're going to get it this weekend and not last weekend. Along that same lines, not to draw the meeting out, but Mr. Mayor, if you remember when you and I talked and we actually went through the cemetery, and a lot of those ideas were things that we could do with just man-hour and things that we went through, so you deserve some credit from that too.
Thank you. Okay, any further discussion or questions for the,
I'd make a motion to accept this report. Good one.
Second?
okay, it's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any further discussion? All right, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Your
Thank
report's
you.
accepted on a vote of 3-0. Thank you. Police Chief Mike Clark.
Morning.
Good morning.
I had submitted a letter for street closure. Did that get put on this week's? Okay.
That's it.
It's for our annual bike rodeo that's sponsored by the police department and the parks department. We always close the south side or the north side of Smeads, the south side of Smeads, the north side of Tower Park through there for the day. We'll have the smokehouse from the fire department. We'll have a safety course. We serve hot dogs and stuff for the kids free of charge, and it's an annual event that's been pretty successful, and I request that we be allowed to close that street on that date time.
How long does the event usually take? It's like 2 or 3 hours?
It's from 10 to 1.
10 to 1.
10 a.m. to 1 p.m. But we like to shut it down early and get the course set up and everything lined up.
Are you doing the same things this year, like somebody wins a bike and you give away free helmets and that kind of stuff?
We have 50 bicycle helmets to give away, and we have 10 brand new bicycles to give away to the participants.
Fantastic. Any questions for the chief? None?
I make a motion to approve.
Second. It's been moved and properly seconded to approve the request by the chief of police to close 2 blocks of Smead Street on June 9th. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Pass it on a vote of 3-0. Thank you, chief.
And before you go, any update on your hiring?
That's what I was just going to add. We did have the physical agility and written test last Saturday. We had 44 applications, 32 participants showed that day, and through the agility and the written, we're down to 19 that have passed both of those so far, so they'll be moved on to the next step. So that's
And the next step is interviews?
It'd be a written application, the full application, then we'll go to interviews. Yes, sir.
Okay.
So,
Thanks for all your hard work. I know it was a holiday weekend and it was hot, and your dedication showed through with all of your pension board there.
they sure did. They came in, it was a hot day and it was a holiday, and it went really smooth with that number of applicants that we had, and went off without a hitch.
Appreciate your dedication.
Thank you.
Any more questions? Okay. Thank you. Fire Chief Mark Strong.
Morning.
Good morning.
Wanted to mention that we participated in the Indiana burn camp yesterday. We had Captain B.J. Cox and Brian Nipple went down to Camp Tecumseh in a fire truck and participated in the parade and had a good time with all the kids that go to the burn camp every year. So they come back, said it was a really, really nice thing. It's the first year we participated in that. So they had a really good time, and the kids really appreciated them coming. Wanted to mention we had a call we had a call at Woodbridge, the health facility, and they had a broken water line. Anytime there's a big usage of water, it'll set off the sprinkler detection, and that's how we got the call. When we got there, they said no fire, we just got a water leak. The guys could have left and went home, but they stayed and helped. It was a very, very large line up in the ceiling. It broke, and they helped the facility get patients. They had to move a lot of patients. They had to do a lot of work, drywall come down and everything. So anyway, Woodbridge called and said that the guys just went way beyond the call of duty and did a really good job. And as a matter of fact, Woodbridge brought down dinner to all the guys last night that were on that shift and really showed their appreciation. So it's very nice. Wanted to mention that we have a class coming up next Thursday, June 7th. It's put on by Miami Cass REMC. It's a live wire demo, and we're hosting it there at the fire station, and all the departments and the police and sheriff and EMS all are invited to come down. It's a really good live wire class. And then still working on the station a lot, doing landscaping and everything, and I just wanted to thank Dan Williams for all his help from the street department and the cemetery department too. Have helped us with loads of dirt and mulch and stuff like that, so I appreciate his help. It's nice that the departments can work together.
All right.
Station's looking good.
It is looking good. Lots of flowers
Looking
out
better,
there.
thank you.
Yeah. You can see the hard work. Questions for Mark?
I'd make a motion we approve this report.
I would second that. Is there any further discussion? All in favor of approving the fire chief's report signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Passes on a vote of 3-0. Is there any visitor comments? No visitor comments? All right. Miscellaneous business, including matters not already considered. Seeing none, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.